What's up, everyone? We are back on another episode of Pound for Pound. I am the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, a.k.a. Triple C.
A Shadowline production.
This episode is sponsored by Hims, your one-stop shop for all men's healthcare and needs.
Through Hims, men receive straightforward, stress-free care that fits your lifestyle. Hims offers access to ED treatment options from trusted partners that cost 95% less than brand name.
Hims even has personalized prescriptions options like Hard Mints, Sex RX, plus Climax Control, so you can guarantee championship rounds every time.
Hims has legitimate medical providers who will help build a personalized plan based on your needs. It's like a digital doctor's office with trusted treatments for ED, hair loss, weight loss, and more, all in one place.
To get started, visit hims.com/P4P. That's hims.com/P4P for your free online visit.
Actual prices will depend on products and subscription plans. Featured products include compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information. Mr. Triple C, man, I feel like these numbers are just running up on us. You know, it's like, last thing in the news, UFC 300. Now it's 321. It's going crazy, Henry. They go crazy out here.
Yeah, no, it's a good card, man, from top to bottom, dude. I mean, obviously, better yet, let me take this back. Yeah. Main card is really, really good, man. Like main card, the rest of the card.
You stopped yourself.
The rest of the card, but you know what? We've said this before, and sometimes when we say shit like this, it ends up being a banger. So we just never know until the fights happen.
Well, you keep saying we. You're speaking a lot of French, Henry. Don't say we do this. This is the best card of the year. What you mean we? I never said anything. I'm just joking. But Henry, before we get into the card, man, a little thing that I want to go over. This past week, I want to say illustrious mixed martial arts coach, not just mixed martial arts coach, but kickboxer himself, Coach Duke Roufus, passed away at 55 years young. I mean, Duke is a phenomenal coach. I do remember my couple of run-ins with Duke. It was always great. There's just some coaches, a short list of coaches that you just respect, and Duke was one of those guys that you just have that ultimate respect for. So it was big sad news all through not just the MMA community but the combat sports world to hear that Duke Roufus passed away at 55 years young. Man, Henry, did you get a chance to meet Duke? Did you spend any time with him?
You know what? No, but I was in the opposite corners. I remember fighting Sergio Pettis and UFC. I forget when, but it was in Detroit. I wasn't happy about that fight. But anyways, he was a dude that was very, very well respected, man. You can tell the Pettis brothers really love their coach, man. I sent Anthony a message saying like, hey, man, my condolences, dude, because it wasn't just a friend or a coach to these dudes. Like this guy played a father figure to these guys when they lost their father. So, I want to send my condolences now particularly to the Pettis family, Woodley, Askren, Stotts, C-Rod. He was a hell of a coach from what I've heard. I think he came out to Arizona for a little bit, but I've never heard anything. I've always heard nothing but praises about him, how good he was as a coach, how he was very analytical with his training, and how he was able to motivate all of his athletes just a little bit different. So, I mean, rest in peace, man. 55 is super young, man. It's unfortunate, dude, but he will be missed, but he will never be forgotten, man.
Right. Man, yeah. A long list of just some of the great athletes that he's coached, but incredible athlete himself. So it was very, very sad to kind of hear that news go on. But also the past weekend, Henry, RDR took on Brendan Allen on I guess it's short notice fight, obviously for Brendan Allen, because it wasn't the full 3 months or 4 months like most people would like to potentially have. Brendan Allen came out and you correct me. I don't know if Brendan Allen looked phenomenal or RDR looked less than himself there, Henry. You give me what you think first, and I'll give you my assessment.
Yeah, no, I don't think that was the RDR that fought Robert Woodard. We can't take it away from Allen. We cannot, dude. Like that's one thing that I will say. Brandon Allen is a fucking gamer, dude. Like he showed up, dude. And particularly having that drama and Kill Cliff, and then him going, like, bro, like he wanted to not just prove it to RDR, but also, no offense, Kush, but to your team, your coaches.
Whoa, whoa,
You know?
whoa! Why you keep grouping me with everybody, bro? Why? First it was we, then now it's you and your
No, but you
team.
know what
Why
I'm
you
saying,
keep?
bro.
I don't know what you're saying. I don't
It's
know what
that
you're
beef,
saying.
but yeah, I felt like, one, from what I heard from everybody, from the sources, he had a certain flu where he probably shouldn't have fought in the beginning, and then he shows up about 35 pounds over on that Tuesday. I mean, think about it. And then not just that, bro, but in that first round, bro, he started grappling like he wanted to finish him. Like, dude, he was holding on for dear life. And sometimes when you hold on for too long, bro, it'll fatigue you for the later rounds. It's unfortunate for RDR. I think, sometimes we got to be willing to say, hey, man, I'm not fighting this week. I could tell, bro. Like, I could tell from the beginning, dude, the dude was just huffing and puffing to the point where the coaches had to throw in the towel, dude. And rightfully so. That was a good call from the coaches. Like, I remember watching the fight and then seeing him walk all the way back to that other corner, bro. I was like, dude, this dude's in trouble. So you could already see it where, with Allen, when at one point where they broke, his corner just put in the stool, and he was already sitting, dude, within seconds, dude. Like, it's unfortunate, but he just wasn't ready. It wasn't the time for him to take that fight, and it showed it, bro. He lost. He lost, man. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, first and foremost, you don't want to take anything away from Brandon Allen. This was the one thing that you will say is Brandon Allen is a gamer who's willing to bet on himself. And sometimes he does bet on himself. He makes a call, but it's a wrong call, and he's on the wrong side of that. But this one was a great call. He saw the matchup. He was confident in himself. He was confident in his ability, and he went out there and he delivered. For sure, he delivered. He was in that first round. It looked like he was struggling a little bit after he got taken down and mounted, but he stayed with it. He was able to defend. He was able to control the hands, and he stayed in the fight. To where after that first round, it did look like something was going on with RDR, but that's not Brendan Allen's fault. That's not his concern. His job was to go in there and fight, and I feel that he prepared for version of uh the best version of RDR. But unfortunately, that's not what we got. And Brendan Allen was able to take advantage of that, and just smart too in the fight IQ, because you saw that even in the fourth, I think that fourth round, he came out instead of, which I do think he would have had a lot of success with the striking. Instead of just going striking, he was able to he changed levels right away. Picked him up, got the double, carried him back to his corner, and got on top and continued to do some work. So great awareness from Brandon Allen, and we can't take anything away from him. Hopefully, RDR gets well. It takes a little bit of time off because Henry, I believe that was his fourth fight in 11 months.
I think
Fourth
it
or
was. I
fifth?
think it was his fifth.
Fifth. Jeez, that's and cutting 35 pounds the week of. So imagine how big he normally is.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
And can I say something? And can I say something too, Kamaru? It's like you got to give thanks to guys like RDR that's willing to promote the sport and then put his balls out there. One, I still go back and tell you what I think. I don't think he should have fought in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? If he was that heavy, that sick, but it is what it is, man. He signed the contract. All praise to Allen for getting that victory and total domination, dude.
Right.
But to go back, I mean, everybody was shitting on him, from Hamzat Chimaev to Boralio to everybody had a bunch of comments to say about RDR. But
Really?
yeah, dude, it's part of the game, and I think sometimes people don't realize it. But guys like that are what sells the damn show, and there's a reason why the UFC has really pushed him and to be in a marquee fight in a big event like in Vancouver.
Right. Well, shout out to both guys for not, because RDR, like you mentioned, Henry, could have easily pulled out, and Brendan Allen could have said no when offered the fight, when Fluffy fell out. So shout out to both guys for going out there and entertaining us. We never want to take that for granted. I know one guy lost and one guy won, but we never want to take that for granted. So Brandon Allen and RDR, big shout out to both of you guys for entertaining us. All right, Henry. Well, we got to give another big shout out to our sponsors at Skims. Henry, I know usually you have the complaints all the time. You don't have enough underwear. That's why you've been wearing the same one for 5 to 7 days straight. But my man, Skims got us. Did you get your Skims on? The Skims that came in the mail.
And you know what? Can I tell you something? Come on, Rudine. I never thought that I would be thanking Kim K for making this shit so comfortable. I hate when my underwear, they're all balled up, like when my balls are hot. So I just got to give a big shout out to Kim Kardashian, everybody at Skims, for making my underwear breathable.
Yeah, you absolutely are right. Extremely comfortable, very breathable. Like you liked it to breathe, because like you said, you get hot, so you make sure they're breathable. Great material. I think that's what I like the most. I gotta have a fabric that touches the skin in certain spots in certain places that get you right, Henry.
Shop Skims Men's at skims.com. Let them know we sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey and select our show in the drop-down menu.
That's right, Henry. And I'm glad now you don't have to actually go to the store to try to buy some underwear. They just send them to you, Henry, because that's why you've been wearing the same ones for quite some time now. So don't worry, my man. I got you. I'm going to make sure they get sent to you. I'm going to talk to the producers and make sure you're good. All right? Man, let's get into this, man. UFC 3-2-1 or 3-2 Juan, like you like to say. Henry Sanudo.
Luis Juan. I like that, bro. Well, let's get into it, Kush. Let's get into the main event. Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane. What's your take, Kush?
And this is a phenomenal fight. I think right off the bat, these are two of the most dynamic heavyweights that we potentially have ever seen. Obviously, you get a guy like Francis Ngannou, but that's a different type of heavyweight. You get a guy like Tom Aspinall, who is just a hybrid, a guy that's got the speed, who's got power as well, and he's big. It's almost like his size is deceiving because of how quick he is inside that octagon. So you think he's a little guy, but yeah, he's a big guy, big boy. And you've got Ciryl Gane. I'm gonna go on the whim and say that Ciryl Gane is probably on the short list for the best all-around athlete in the UFC. I'm going to go on a whim and say that because to best all-around athlete, for what it takes to be an athlete. The one thing I haven't seen him do is hit a golf club, hit a golf ball, swing a golf club. That's the one thing I haven't really seen him do. But for a guy like this, we measure being an athlete by how well you can run, jump, throw, right? How well you can run, jump, throw, and hand-eye coordination, all these things. Have you seen this guy dunk a bat? He can dunk a basketball?
Yeah, but you know what? You can talk about him being an athlete. This is the sport of mixed martial arts. So really
have you seen him fight?
Bro.
Have you seen him fight?
He's good. And the way that I see this fight is, I think this is the first time that we're probably going to see Tom possibly go 5 rounds, bro, or at least 3. Because there's one thing that Ciryl Gane does very, very well. You know what it is? It's movement, his agility. He wasn't able to do that against John Jones. But man, he's never stationary. But it's also his best gift is also his worst enemy too, because it's a lot of movement and he's a heavyweight. I mean, he is 0-2 versus Jones and Ngannou, the 2 best heavyweights that the UFC has legit ever seen. So those are his only 2 losses, bro. But that being said, I'm curious to see if Tom is able to really go those 5 rounds. With a fight like this, bro, like we saw Francis go 5 with Gane. We saw him lose to Jones, which was in the first round. But that being said, dude, there's a lot of questions To be answered. But I will say this, Kamaru. John Jones will be sitting front row at his house, sipping on sipping on that hen and maybe some popcorn. But he's gonna be he's gonna be watching this fight.
Wait, why you gotta be sipping on hand, huh? You just figured that's what the black guys will be drinking?
Come on, your tequila jokes, dude. I know John. I know what John likes.
How you know what he likes? It could be tequila. You don't know. He lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He could like tequila.
You're right.
Exactly.
Right. But what I'm saying, Kush, as of right now,
I know what you're saying. He's sipping that hand.
Who's the person that needs to make the adjustments in this fight? Is it Gane or is it Aspinall?
Well, I think both guys have to make a pretty good adjustment because I believe this will be the first time that Tom Aspinall is fighting a heavyweight that's as dynamic as he is, a heavyweight that can evade just as well, a heavyweight that could give you either stances, that could snipe you from either stance with either hand. But and also with Ciryl Gane, I think this is going to be the first time that he's going to be going up against a heavyweight that's potentially faster than he is, that's big, strong, but can move just as well as he can. And so it's going to be, I think, going to be a shock for both guys, especially in that first round. But man, this is the thing with Tom Aspinall has ultra confidence in his hand. So I believe he's going to come out and he's going to just step on the gas. Tom Aspinall doesn't really play the let me feel you out game and let me try to. He gets in there, he gets after it. To where the longer the fight goes, the more dangerous Ciryl Gane is going to look. Ciryl Gane is a guy that can hit you with knees, that can hit you with elbows, that can hit you with all kinds of strike kicks, everything, side kicks, oblique kicks. So it's going to be a tough one to call. I don't want to say I agree with you, Henry, with this being the first time that you see Tom Aspinall go 5, because, like I said, special things happen when Tom Aspinall steps on the gas right away.
Talk is cheap. Now pick, Kush. Pick.
Man, I don't know, Henry. This could legitimately be the first fight where I'm like, I don't know. I almost can't pick a guy here. I almost can't.
All right. So let me help you out here. I gotta go with Tom. I gotta go with Tom because of his agility and his knockout power, and not just that, bro. The dude could take people down, man. This dude, right. Tom, and not just that, man. But he has 100% takedown accuracy. According to the fighter stats. So I just feel like if you have that, my biggest question though for Tom is, has he gone 3 or 5 rounds complete? Because remember, his best gift is knockout power, but it could also burn him. And I hate to go back, and I got to do this. The first time that Ngannou fought Stipe Miocic, it was different, bro, because he was so accustomed to knocking people the hell out that by the time he got somebody that knew how to kind of evade and use tactics and things like that, and then wrestle, it changed the whole thing. But I just don't think Gane has that wrestling to really put that threat in a guy like Tom. So for that reason, I am going Tom Aspinall.
I'm gonna second that, Henry. I'm gonna go with that as well. But I'm gonna say, if there is a guy left in the heavyweight division right now that can potentially beat Tom Aspinall, it's Ciryl Gane. Because I do believe he's on the short list as one of the best all-around athlete in the UFC. Henry, are you picking a round or are you going decision?
I'm gonna have to go up again. If you're asking me to make a damn prediction, I'd probably go Tom, maybe by finish in the later rounds. I'm not gonna say first round knockout. I can't. But I can see Tom eventually bringing in somebody that strike in the later rounds and eventually finishing him.
I got my own.
Because
Okay.
it's heavyweight. It's heavyweight, Kamar. We're not talking about flyweights or bantamweights. We're talking about heavyweights with real power, dude. It's just a matter of time when that touch gloves. It just it gives people NyQuil.
I see what you're saying there. You can run with that. For me personally, I'm so torn on this one. I really don't know. I really don't know. But I tell you what though, in the co-main event, we have a vacant title being fought for. Jandiroba taking on Mackenzie Dern. Two. They fought before years back, Henry, and they're going to fight. Both going to fight now for the vacant UFC strawweight championship title. As you know, Zhang Wei Li has vacated the title to challenge Valentina Shevchenko at flyweight. I love that for Zhang Wei Li. I thought that was the next logical step. She's done everything there is to do here in this division. And now Mackenzie Dern, who has kind of been in that conversation for a long time, but she just hadn't got to that title, is finally fighting for an undisputed title. Henry, how do you feel about this one?
Yeah, no, I mean this was pretty much, they should both thank Zhang Wei Li for this title shot. The last time that Mackenzie Dern and Jandiroba have fought, Mackenzie got the unanimous decision. This is back in 2020. Like, she's gone better, man. Virna has gone so much better, but it's a competitive fight that this is like an unexpected championship fight. Like, who's gonna know that Mackenzie Dern was gonna fight, for the title match? She's been 2-2 in her last, in her last four. I mean, 4-4 in her last eight. So it's been different, man. It's been different. It's a surprise, and I think Brazil's definitely gonna be crowned a new champion. So
You think so?
well, they're
You
both
should.
Brazil, and sometimes things like this, Kamaru, are done because of that demographic. You know what I'm saying? They could have picked different girls at 116 pounds at strawweight, 115. But they decided to do this because this is where the numbers at. If I'm going Mackenzie Dern, man. She's gone a lot better too. She's already been in there with Virna, and I just feel like it's just her submission. She's a submission threat in the whole nine. And if Virna's able to defend her takedowns, I'm not even sure she has the same striking as Mackenzie. So for that reason, bro, I just feel like I feel like we're gonna hear a new Mackenzie Dern.
I do lean that way as well. I do think Mackenzie Dern is a little bit more of a complete fighter than Jandiroba. Jandiroba, I feel like is pretty much settled in on the grappling aspect, and this is going to be a grappler's delight. Or Mackenzie Dern is going to keep this fight standing and really use her boxing, because that's the one area I've noticed she's done. She's made a lot of improvements. You can see she's definitely worked a lot on that boxing, because when she came in, it was just Mackenzie Dern, the jiu-jitsu player in there. But now it's not just a jiu-jitsu player. She got hands as well. She can put it on you. She's quick. She's fast. And I think she's improving each and every fight. So I'm looking to hear and new as well, Henry.
Yeah. I gotta. You know what? I'm gonna take it a little step for. I think Mackenzie's gonna win by submission, man.
The
You know?
black belt's going to submit the black belt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 5 rounds this time, dude. Mackenzie's got arsenals from everything, from her back, from the feet, like the whole nine, and her takedowns are no joke, dude. I think she's gonna have a lot of opportunities to be able to hit her with just different submissions.
Right. Well, that's your prediction. I think we're both going to go with Mackenzie Dern on this one. I do think she does have what it takes to potentially get that one done. So I'm with you on that one as well, Henry. Go on Mackenzie Dern. But here's another fight that I think is highly anticipated as well, because especially in that region of Abu Dhabi. Nurmagomedov steps back in here since he dropped the title fight versus the Machine Marab. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how he bounces back from this one, Henry, because that was to lose to drop that fight. I feel like there was a lot of, and he could be, maybe he feels different, but I feel like there was a lot being made of, this is the guy, this is the guy, he's this guy that should have been the champion all along, and he's going to be the champion. And then he goes against, of course, the greatest bantamweight right now in Merab, and drops that one, which we find out there was an injury, there was this, there was that. But what effects, Henry, do you think that potentially have had psychologically on a guy like Umar?
That's dude. I think these dudes, they're different, man. The Dagestanis are different, Kumar. I see what you're saying, but Umar Nurmagomedov, dude, there is a lot of pressure, and I think they do feel that. But I think they also strive through it. Like he also knows the biggest threat for Merab Dvalishvili, it is Umar Nurmagomedov. But he's also going over the guy that I used to think it was a bum. They used to call Bautista, but dude, Bautista he's tricky, bro. Yeah, you got, and this is something about me,
put
bro.
Some respect on it.
I'll give him his flowers, bro. He's able to take this fight with Umar, and if he's able to get that victory over him, then the winner of this fight is going to fight Merab Dvalishvili. After this fight, if Merab, for whatever reason, wins, he needs to move up. But to get back to what I was talking about with Umar, Umar's keys to victory is range. If you notice Bautista, he will start striking right away. Like it's his first thing that he does. Like he'll make sure he land the first punch. Because it's almost like psychologically he has to get that movement going. But for Umar, he's gonna have to play a little bit of that Taekwondo, boom, pick his punches, because stylistically he's a better technician. Mario on the other side, he's got to make it dirty. He's gonna have to throw the kitchen sink. He's gonna have to throw punches and bunches, and even possibly look for takedowns. I mean, the dude was able to beat a guy like Jose Aldo. I mean, it was a boring fight. He held him against the cage, but what that tells you is he's willing to do whatever it takes to actually win. Now, will he do that to Umar Nurmagomedov? Hold him against the cage? No, because that's all these dudes train. On bottom, no. It's going to come down to possibly conditioning. Could we take a little bit of what happened in that fight with Merab and start the fight earlier and make Umar Nurmagomedov fight for Bautista to have the best possibility of actually winning? Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Why'd you harmonize that? Why you drop a little harmony towards the end of that?
Because all these dudes, because they gotta know my talent. They just got to.
Oh, so you auditioning? So is you auditioning to be a singer here? Is that what you're doing?
Let me self-glaze, Kush.
all right. I think you're onto something with this one, Henry. I do think both guys are going to be they're well skilled, very skilled. If there's one thing that we learned last time is that Bautista is extremely talented, because he can not only fight from either stance, he can grapple as well. He could take you down, hold you down, or if he needs to hold you against the cage, he can do that as well. So I would say this one is going to be one that's going to eventually come down to conditioning, perhaps, because I think both guys. Listen, Umar is very, very dynamic, and that's one thing that we always learned about him. This is a guy that can stand at range and just still kind of slap you with his feet. Very, very dynamic in that aspect. But based on his last fight, but we also learned that with Mario Bautista. He's very, very dynamic, has good boxing, has good kickboxing, good range control. Once he got into the fight with Patchy Mix, obviously Umar and Patchy Mix are two different guys, but once he got into a fight, I mean, he was taking more and more risk as the fight progressed. So I can see that, and obviously with both guys knowing that there's a potential title shot hanging in the balance here, I can see Mario Bautista taking a lot more risk on this one. And of course, it's a 3-round fight, I believe, Henry, right?
Yeah.
3-round fight. So it's pretty much step on that gas immediately and go out there and try to steal those 2 rounds, or somebody land something significant and get the other guy out. So I can see a potential decision here. But for it being 3 rounds, That's a tough one. I think that's a tough one to steal away from Umar Nurmagomedov for 3 rounds.
Yeah, golly, I think we're sounding like twins here. I gotta agree with you. But if Bautista does get it down, woo! I mean, this is a number one contender fight. There's no other fight, dude.
You call
Like
him
Rob
sir?
huh?
You call him sir after if he gets this one done?
Sure, I'll call him daddy.
Pause.
But you never know, bro. You never know. But I agree with you, Kamaru. It's just we also have to remember too is like Umar could wrestle, bro. He
Of
could
course.
surprise he could surprise Mara and just take him down, take his back, and just beat him up from there. I just feel like Umar's too experienced. He's practically in his hometown in Abu Dhabi, and he knows what he has to do. He knows that he has to fit that Nurmagomedov lineage, and he knows that he's the only one that's left to be able to have that strap around his damn waist because his brother's done it, his cousin has done it, the only Islam has done it, which is maybe not blood related, but you know what I'm saying. They're closer to brothers than anybody that you'll ever meet. It's only down to the young eagle Umar Nurmagomedov.
Agree. Well, so I guess we're still locked in on that one as well. I think we're locked in 3 for 3 right there, Henry.
Yeah. I'm going decision. I'm going decision, dude. I'm going decision, Umar.
I like that. I like that. I do think that's a hard one to steal away from a guy like Umar. Well, next we have Volkov, Alexander Volkov taking on Jolton Almeida. This is a tough one. Obviously, obviously Jolton Almeida is impressive in the way that he's able to wrestle, in the way that he's able to get these guys down, and that's with a guy like Volkov with those long legs, and you got a guy like Jolton Almeida that really wants to take you down. Henry, how do you see this one taking place?
Yeah, I mean it's gonna come down. With heavyweights, it always comes down to power, man. For the most part, for about 90% of it, who's more precise? I mean, Volkov's been around for a minute, man, but I know Almeida. He's been around too, but not as much as Volkov. I mean, his last fight against Gane, I mean, even Dana White said, "Hey, man, I apologize. You got effed in that fight, but I'm gonna treat you like if you won." So this could be the number one contender. The winner of this fight between Volkov and Almeida could determine who's gonna fight for that title next. And I like Almeida, but man, I just feel like Volkov is just a little too big, and he's gone up against better and tougher competition. Man, he's got size as big as Almeida is. Volkov just has size on everybody, and if he can use that correctly, I could see him winning this fight via decision. Almeida's going to be a hard dude to put away. It's not like Volkov is just knocking everybody else like Francis. He's gone 3 rounds with Gane in his last fight, so I can see this going by. I can see Volkov by unanimous decision.
Well, I'm gonna disagree with you, my man. I'm gonna go with Jolton Almeida. I think his relentless ability to get to the takedown or in pursuit of it to eventually get you down and submit you or punch your lights out. I'm gonna go with Jolton Almeida. I think Volkov is there's just too much of a target there. And like you mentioned, it's not Volkov is very, very good, really precise striker, but it's not big power there that, oh, I touch you, I put you away like that. It takes maybe a combination or an accumulation of punches to potentially get you out of there. So I'm going to go with Jolton Almeida. And I do agree with you, Henry. I do think this is a number one contender match because as you can tell, like every so often, divisions start to get a just kind of a, what do you call it? You gut it and you rehab, you refurbish it. And I feel like that's kind of what we're getting right here in the heavyweight division now, because in the division you don't have there's no John Jones. In the division you don't have a Francis Ngannou. In the division you don't have a Stipe Miocic. In the division you don't have a Daniel Cormier. In the division you don't really have Derek Lewis at the top of the division like you had before.
My balls is high.
So I feel like we're kind of going through a refurbishing right now of that division. So, man, I'm excited to see which guys are willing to kind of not step up and be that next guy to challenge for that title next.
Yeah, exactly. What you're saying right now, Kush, you're 100% right. And where does that leave John? Where does that leave Francis? I know Francis. His last message was like, I'm itching to get back in." I do believe that he is a free agent. Is that correct? Or he's on his way to be a free agent?
Who knows?
I mean, you want to call him Kush? Because I tell you what, bringing Francis
Let me call
back
him right
into the
now.
mix,
Let me call him right now. Put him
bringing
on the
Francis
show.
back into the
Yeah, call him right
call his
now.
ass, call him, put him on speaker, dude. Unless you playing.
Oh, he ain't answer. I tried him.
But I mean, there's a lot of things that the UFC needs to do to really, start getting more of those big names at the heavyweight division, because you're right. There's a lot of people have left, retirements, guys that were at the top are no longer at the top. Former contenders are just, the heavyweight really does need some restructuring. But I will say this: Volkov and Almeida is the number one contender fight. Winner fights for the title next.
Right. Well, there's a lot of different fights on this card, Henry. Obviously, Rakic is on this card taking on Nurmagomedov as well. That's also on the main card. And then, of course, there's a fight that I'm actually let's not forget on. You have Nasrat Hakparast is also on this card as well. The fight that I'm really looking forward to is in that prelim is Aliskerov taking on the Iron Turtle. So those of you who don't know that nickname's the Iron Turtle. Park taking on Aliskerov. I think this is a great fight to kind of, because we all know Aliskerov was kind of on that fast track, gets that fight with former champion in Whitaker, and we felt that this was it. This was going to be that fight to really propel him to the top of the division. And unfortunately, Whitaker said no. So he's still kind of in his process of building his way back. So I love this fight. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this might be the featured prelim, or this might be the one right before the featured prelim. But a phenomenal fight. A lot of good fights on this card. A lot of names that a lot of people might not know because they're not big household name yet. But the one thing that I will say is you do not sleep on this card, because these are the kind of cards that all of a sudden, boom, there's a knockout in every fight or finish in every fight. Even last weekend, I think they went only 2 fights, I believe, went to a decision. So you can't.
Not just that, but this was kind of flying under the radar, man. Go back down real quick. I think it's Jesus Delgado. Is it Jesus or Jose Delgado? I don't know.
What do you mean?
Yeah, Jose Miguel Delgado. Bro, I tell you what, man, spectacular fashions, bro. Look at these last fights, bro. TKO, KO.
Wow.
Submission, Darce, rear naked choke. And then obviously he lost to Chris Mecate. That dude must have been a wrestler, man, because that's the only way that you'll be able to take a dude out with beautiful striking like, Jesus Miguel Delgado. That's one dude that I think people need to really, start paying attention to, because he's kind of flying under the radar and he's knocking people out senseless, and he's really good. And he's got that Mexican spirit.
What is that Mexican spirit? Because he's American.
I'm probably... Well, come on, Kush. Really, dude? It says USA on this thing, but he's probably gonna represent.
What? That's an American flag there.
Yeah, you're right. But you know what I'm saying? Like anybody who's Hispanic, or particularly from Mexican descent, we grew up watching boxing. Like boxing's in our heritage. You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. I just wanted you to clarify for us, because you said he had that spirit. So I'm like,
yeah. And then Barnett's back too, bro. The dude that does all those crazy ass flips.
Yes, Chris Barnett. That's he's obviously an entertainer. And if Chris Barnett can go out there and take care of business, man, this guy is a guy that should be on the main card anywhere because he's definitely going to give you that entertainment from the walkout to the dancing all the way back to the locker room after he's knocked somebody out. So I'm excited. I can't wait. This is it's a good card. A lot of relatively not big names on the undercard, but you don't want to miss it. Trust me, these guys are potentially going to become your new favorites if you're paying attention. Well, Henry, this week we've got a question from a casual, and I think it's a big one that we do need to talk about because it's something that seems to be happening more and more and more now. So, do you want to read our question from a casual for this week, Henry?
Yeah,
Mr. Sanudo.
Question from a casual. What needs to change and what rules need to be implemented in order to prevent fighters from landing low blows and not getting penalized for it? I think this is huge, man. I remember, when the whole eye poke thing happened with me with Song,
Of
and
course.
what Mark Ratner said. He says, "Hey, he's like, it's unfortunate, dude. Like, I wouldn't even fight it. You're not gonna win it." But he's like, we're really gonna consider like already in the back. You've already been warned, which that should be it. But I think it should automatically be a point, dude. Like, in particular, if it's, I can see where low blows could be a little bit different. But if once you go 2 low blows, bro, there's gotta be a freaking point. An eye poke off the back with extended fingers, that should already be a point. Period. So that's my 2 cents. I think the sport is fairly new, Kamaru. Like, think about it. The sport of mixed martial arts, it's a fairly new sport, but it's so what I'm trying to say is like it's still gradually improving and making improvements to eventually become like a sport where okay, everybody knows the rules, there's no more timeouts or whatever that may be. There has to be points being deducted, period.
I hear what you're saying, Henry, but here's the thing about this is if it's going to be a fair assessment, a fair sport within the confines of the rule all across the board, with a sport like MMA, you have to account for the variable. You have to account for the thing that you cannot control. So, that being said, if this was boxing, absolutely. Automatic point deduction if you get an eye poke, because how is that possible? In MMA, we fight with open gloves. So there is a possibility. Even if I do this, I make a fist. Like sometimes the referee will say, do this, close your hand. Even when I do this, I can still create an eye poke. So there has to be that variable, an account, an understanding for that variable. So I don't think right away you go point. I do think it needs to be a clear-cut warning all across the board that if you do this, the first one is a warning. But if it happens again, it's an immediate point. There's no maybe not. It was also intentional. It doesn't matter. It should be the warning because that's you accounting for the variable that something could potentially happen. But if it happens again, it should be an automatic point. Well, nowadays we see referees being given their own discernment to make that decision. So some referees will go, and we see it when a guy grabs the cage. Some referees will go, don't grab the cage. That's your warning. Then we see it a round or two later. Don't grab the cage. That's your warning. Then we see it again. Don't grab the cage because now they're afraid to potentially make a decision that could alter the fight. And so they don't want to take a point away. No, it should be warning. Next one is an automatic point. And that's what we see time and time again. Listen, you can't, with a sport like mixed martial arts, you cannot say no nut shots is going to happen. You can't. We're kickers. If it was boxing and someone gets kneed in the nuts, that's a different situation here. But this is MMA where you have to kick. You can kick inside. You can kick to the body. You can kick to the bread basket, as some people like to call it. Look at the distance between the bread baskets and the daddy makers, or whatever you want to call it. The family jewels. Look at the distance. It's not a lot of distance there. So accidents are going to happen, but you make them just that. Accidental. Warning. Next time it happens, automatic point.
No,
So that's how I feel.
I think for eye pokes, I think for an eye poke, that should already be.
I mean, of course,
That
you
should
feel
already
like
be
that.
it. Low blow, I could see the first one maybe a warning because it depends how you shot the shot. I think there should be replays, and I think if you're able to do replays, then the referees could really see if it was intentional or not. Because think about it, man. There's been a lot of people that have.
There's no way to tell if that was intentional or not. When you can kick inside, Henry, how is this possible?
Yeah,
If I'm
but
the
I'm talking
southpaw
about
and you're
yeah, but I'm
orthodox, and
talking
we're
about
both
if
kicking
somebody just go
inside,
straight up with that leg, go straight up with the leg, and then boom down the middle, no curve, no nothing, just down the middle.
Name one purposeful nut shot you've seen.
Well, fuck, that's a random question.
Name one.
I went to a freaking bar one time. We're all drunk, buddy.
Exactly.
No, but I can tell you a purposeful eye poke against your boy Sonya Dong.
You think he purposely eye poked you?
Yeah, because 100%. Go back and rewatch that, and then look at the way he came out. If he didn't come out that same way, then I would probably believe him. But because the fact that he came back that same way, he's guilty as charged. We should call him Sonya Dong Simpson. He did it.
I don't co-sign whatever he just did. I don't co-sign it. But Henry, I can't. You've got it. I think there needs to be clear-cut warning point. I don't care what it is, whether you were grabbing the cage, whether it was the eye poke, because you can't be in the heat of the battle. You're trying to get away, and all of a sudden, fingers touch the eyes. Our gloves are open. So I understand that, but it needs to be a clear-cut warning. Next one, automatic point. No exception. But I think it's where we get a mixture is when these referees are going by their own discernment to where you'll see 2 or 3 warnings in there. You will hear a referee say 3 or 4 times, close your hands. Hey, don't eye pokes. Close your hands. Hey, that's okay. Come on. It's a warning, then it's a point. And that's what we don't get. So I can understand your argument, but at the same time, Henry, I do think there needs to be a warning before the penalization, if that's a word.
Let's just start fucking hitting everybody and get a warning. How about that? Nut shot. Oh shit. All right, now
okay,
another with the eye.
Okay, but of course,
let's
but
go.
of course, Henry, but of course, listen to me. But of course, this is sport. As a man, mano a mano, when you go into sport, you're going into the sport with the integrity of I'm going to do everything within the confines of the rules to win. Not I'm going to do everything to cheat to potentially win. So that's what I think there's more people, especially with martial arts, because one of the teachings of martial arts is respect and it's honor. So I do believe most martial artists come in with that thought process to win with respect and potentially honor.
Yeah, that's
unless you see it different. All right. Well, you might see it different.
Keyword most.
All right. Well, Henry, UFC 321 is going to be going down this weekend. I'm excited. I can't wait to see it. Ciryl Gane taking on Tom Aspinall, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. So I can't wait to see it. I will be live right there waiting. All right, my man. Now, Henry, as always, you see me today. I came out because there was a lot of sun out today. So, I came out and I brought the ARs out. You feel me? I brought them out. As always, I'm the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, a.k.a. Triple C.
And we are out.